Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are game number 224, the next to last game on May 13th. The final game on May 13th. The final game on May 13th will be Toronto and Minnesota, but that'll be game 225. That'll hopefully be tomorrow sometime. I don't know when. Maybe in the morning, maybe at lunch. Who knows? Ballpark effects for County Stadium. Singles are 1 to 6 for both left and right. Home runs are 1 to 5, both left and right. Two lefties on the mound. Both of them are 3 and 2 on the replay. Teddy Higuera for the Brewers and Kurt Young for the A's, and both of them have a -3 hold factor. Young gets -3 on his own with Steinbach's 0. Higuera a -1, but O'Brien's -2 makes him a -3. Both teams are in first place in their respective divisions coming into this game. Milwaukee is 21-9, Oakland 19-13. So a so-called marquee matchup, if you want to call it that, for 1987. So finishing up his warm-up tosses will be Teddy Higuera, the left-hander. Like I said, he is 3 and 2 on the replay. We'll get his full stats for you. He's 3 and 2 with a 4.04 earned run average. In real world, he had 3.85, so he's not too far from that. 49 innings pitched, 48 hits, 20 walks, and 48 strikeouts. And leading things off for the Oakland A's will be Tony Phillips. Swiss Army knife can play a lot of positions, but he's playing second base in this one. On the replay, he's hitting .265, 2 homers, 13 driven in with 6 stolen bases. He hit .240 real world. Interestingly enough, in 117 at-bats, he's got 6 steals. In the real season, in 379 at-bats, he only had 7 steals. So he's way above his skis on his steals. Just been more aggressive with him, I suppose. That's the best way to put it. Hello, Chuck. Yeah, I enjoyed the Rhino game. And, of course, Uncle Ron had his on Action PC as well. He actually had the Sandberg game. But I had to do something different because the Cardinal starter, Citarella, did not have a Strat-O-Matic card because he had a few innings pitched, so I had to go to an alternate route on that. Or I could have done it on inside pitch or payoff pitch, but I really wanted to do it in Strat. All right, here's Higuera. Start us off against Phillips, 5'6", right-handed. That's 1 to 12 with a double. That's a 5, so that will be a leadoff double for Tony Phillips as he gets the A's off to a ringing start. They will not hold him at second base, though. And here is Alfredo Griffin. Normally, he's a number 9 hitter, but he's hitting number 2 in this one. He's hitting .270 on the replay, exactly 100 at-bats with 27 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, no home runs, 6 RBI. He had .263 real world. It's a 4.8, switcher bang right-handed. 4.8's a strikeout. So a big strikeout there for Higuera. One away for Mr. Juice himself, Jose Canseco. In left field, Canseco on the replay hitting .282, 8 homers, 21 driven in. He hit .257 real world. Had 15 steals real world, has yet to get a stolen base in this one. Of course, it's a little bit tougher. You got to roll that 6 to get the lead. So he hasn't had much of a chance to get the lead, and going on a secondary rating, unless the pitcher is really bad, it's a definite risk. Nothing on the havoc. Here is Higuera to Canseco, 4-5, and that's a fly ball center field. With the C, that means Phillips has to hold. 2 down. And Chuck, one of the things that was a little more unusual about the Sandberg tribute game was I played it in advance, and that was definitely awkward. Hadn't done that in a long time. Had to get used to it, but hey, we got a triple play out of it. Started by Ryan Sandberg, of all people. So that was kind of neat. All right, here's Mark McGwire. He's hitting .281 on the replay, 5 homers, 15 driven in. I believe he had .288 real world. No, .289 real world, not bad. .289, so he's not too far off that with a .281 clip. Clutch situation now with 2 outs, and against a left-hander in the clutch, he is completely neutral except for 312. He will get a hit. Other than that, he's neutral. 5-8, and that's a strikeout once again for Higuera, his second of the inning. And the leadoff double doesn't amount to anything for Oakland. Higuera pitches around it. At the end of half an inning of play, it is Oakland nothing, and Milwaukee coming to bat. Kurt Young, a left-hander, is on the mound for the Oakland A's. He also has a record of 3-2. His earned run average on the replay, and we get his full stats off the Strat computer for that. And he is 3-2 with a 3.09 earned run average. He had a 4.08 real world, so he's a whole notch better there. 44 innings pitched, 38 hits, 9 walks, and 27 strikeouts. Leading off for the Milwaukee Brewers will be second baseman Juan Castillo. Castillo struggling, hitting a .189, no homers, 7 driven in. He had 224 real world. It's a 4-8 switch hitter batting right-handed, and that is a strikeout for Kurt Young. So Young starts out depositing Castillo back to the bench, 1 away. And here is Robin Yount, the veteran. Yount hitting .311 on the replay, 6 homers, 25 runs driven in, and he's hitting .312 real world. So he is right on pace. 4-7, right-handed. That's a ground ball, second base X. That's Phillips. He's a 4.E21. Those 4 rated fielders can give you problems. So let's take a look here. 4.E21. Right here. He really needs an 8 or better, 7 or better actually, on the 20. And he gets a 17, so that's a G1. That's a good start. Error rating's an E21 at second base. He needs to avoid 4, 13, and 17. He does. So it is a good play for Tony Phillips. Not known for his fielding, but that play he took care of Robin Yount for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to take us to Glenn Braggs. Hello, Bob. Good to see you. All right, Glenn Braggs on the replay is hitting 266. 3 homers, 21 driven in, and he hit 269 real world. So, again, he's right on pace as well. 211, and against a right-hander, that's a single. There's a clutch sign, but nobody's on base, so it's not going to be a factor. Braggs will get himself a 2-out single. To get the lead, he needs a 5 or a 6 to get that lead. He does not. He will hold. That brings up Rob Deere, the big power hitting right-hander. He's hitting 270 on the replay, 5 homers, 17 driven in. He only hit 238 real world. It's a 2-6 against the left-hander. He's going to draw a base on balls. So Young got the first 2 outs, no problem, but now he's running into a little bit of a hiccup. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Dale Swain, in a clutch situation against the left-handers. He is hot against left-handers in the clutch. His column 2, he gets 3 extra hits in the clutch factor. So it's a thing to keep an eye on. Hello, Tony. Thank you very much. I'm having fun playing them. Of course, it helps to be retired. You get more time. But I don't want to do too many games because people get tired if I put too much on there. So I got to kind of limit what I do. Keep it reasonable. 6'3", switch hitter batting right-handed, is a ground ball pitcher X, and he is an E7 with a range of 3. Doesn't have his range on his card, but the computer has it. So he's a 3 range and an E7. 3 and 11 should be no problem for a pitcher. 3 and an 11 is a G3 with 2 outs. That's all he needs. That's a 10, and he's an E7. That shouldn't be a problem either. There is no 7, so it's a 1-3 ground out to end the inning. And that'll do it for the Brew Crew. Both teams put people on base, but can't bring them home. And at the end of 1, we got no score. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you on this Tuesday night. All right. The Penguin, Ron Say, at the end of his career. He's a designated hitter against, they use him as a DH a lot against lefties. So Ron Say, 73% of his at-bats were against lefties, only 27% against righties. On the replay, Ron Say struggling as you might expect, hitting .094 and 32 at bats. He did hit .221 real world. No home runs, no runs batted in. 6-5 is a strikeout. Higuera, his third strikeout. Say is done pretty quickly. Here is Terry Steinbach, the catcher. He's hitting .314 on the replay. 2 homers, 4 driven in. Hit .284 real world. .311 left-handed, and that is a ground ball to short, right between a ballpark blast chance, but it's a ground ball to short. Of course, the ballpark blast with a 10 there, that would have failed. So he couldn't have got a hit either way. So ground ball to short, Swain will take care of it, 2 down. And that'll send up Mike Davis. Drop down the order facing a lefty. Usually he's sitting third or second or third, but facing a lefty, LaRussa drops him down in the order. Davis on the replay, doing very well, hitting .311, 7 homers, 20 driven in, only hit .265 real world. That's a 2-4, and he will fly it to right field, and Glenn Braggs will haul it in to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. Much cleaner inning for Teddy Higuera. Go to the bottom of the second, still no score. And Kurt Young back out. Struggled in the first inning, but got out of it. And with the lefty on the mound, they are going to give Greg Brock the night off, and Jim Paciorek, a right-hander with limited duty, is going to be playing first base in this one. He's hitting .417 and 24 at bats. Only hit .228 real world and 101 at bats, but he's making the most of his opportunity now. That's a 4-6, and that's a strikeout for Kurt Young, his second of the game. 1 away, and that will send up Bill Schroeder, the catcher. I'm sorry, the DH. O'Brien's the catcher. Schroeder, designated hitter. Schroeder hitting .237. He's really struggling. A homer and 10 driven in. He hit .332 real world, so he needs to get it going for the Brew Crew. 3-5, and he gets a single. Boy, 3-6 would have been a home run, but 3-5, he'll take the single. That's a good place to start when you're struggling. At least get on base. He's on. He has surprisingly, he has a 4 or 5 to get the lead. So wouldn't think of him as being a good base stealer, but he's going to try for the lead. He does not get it. And that'll bring up Charlie O'Brien. O'Brien on the replay, hitting .091 and 11 at bats. He hit .235 at bats, so he's definitely struggling as well. Young to O'Brien. 3-5, and that's a walk. So this looks much like the first inning where he got a single and a walk. But can he get out of it is the question. You're facing the number 9 man, Jim Gantner, third base. Still playing third base while Molitor is injured. And Gantner on the replay hitting .312. No homers, 4 driven in. Hit .272 real world. Nothing on the Havoc. 6-6 against the left-hander. Pops him up to first base. McGuire is there. 2 down. Flips the order over to the leadoff man, Castillo. Clutch situation for him. Against lefties, he will lose a hit on 112, and he also loses a hit on 310. So a little bit anti-clutch for Mr. Castillo. That's a 3-9, not a 3-10. 3-9 is a fly to center to end the inning. Had he had a 3-10, that single would have changed to an out because of the anti-clutch. But instead, he just flies it to center field. And Stan Javier hauls it in to end the inning. So nothing doing through 2 innings for either team. They get some guys on but can't push them across. Go to third, no score. And speaking of Stan Javier, he will lead things off for the Oakland A's. He is a center fielder in this one. Javier on the replay hitting just 200 in 45 at bats. He's hitting 200 with a homer and 4 driven in. Real world, Stan Javier hit a .185 in 151 at bats. So he's about 1/3 of the way through his at bat total. That's a 3-5, and that is a fly to center field. Robin Yount hauls it in, 1 away. That'll bring up Mike Let Go Gallego. He is going to be the third baseman rather in this game, not Carney Lansford. Not sure what's wrong with Lansford. He's on the roster, I guess, just giving them the night off. So Gallego is hitting a $125 and just 24 at bats. He hit 250 real world. 2-3, and that's a home run chance. 1-2. I'm sorry, 1-12. That's an 8. So maybe LaRussa knew what he was doing. He gets the hot man, Mike Gallego, a 2-3, home run 1-12. That's an 8, and it is gone. Mike Let Go Gallego cracks a solo home run to break open the scoring. That is his first home run of the season. He had 2 real world in 124 at bats. He gets his first one here on his 25th at bat. RBI number 2 on the season, and the A's take a 1-0 lead. And now Tony Phillips, who doubled his first chance, is back up again. See if he can keep the momentum going for the Athletics. 2-2 against a lefty is a foul out to Charlie O'Brien behind the plate. 2 down. And that will bring up shortstop Alfredo Griffin. He was a strikeout victim in his first time up. 4-7. Switch hitter batting right is a ground ball. Second base X. We're looking at Castillo. He's a 3-E-21 from second base. 3-13 should be good. Don't see any problems with that. 3-13 is a G2. That's a 10. And he's an E21 at second base. No 10, so it's good play. Castillo makes the play to end the inning. But the home run from the diminutive Mike Gallego gives the Oakland A's a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the third. Due up for the Brewers will be Yount, Braggs, and Deer against Kurt Young. Hello, Roger. Appreciate that. I had a lot of fun with it. It was a little weird, like I said, doing advanced instead of super advanced, but it was, all in all, it was still fun. It was a close game. You know, got to see Rhino turn a triple play. That was kind of neat. So, yeah, had a lot of fun with it. I don't normally do tribute games, but Rhino is one of my favorites. For Rhino, for Mike Schmidt, or Cal Ripken, or Don Mattingly. Those are the 4 guys I would probably do a tribute game for. That's my all 1980s infield. I'll put them against anybody, ever. Give me those 4 guys, we'll win a lot of games. Robin Yount, 3-6 against the left-hander is a strikeout. Strikeout number 3. I'll bring up Glenn Braggs. 5-9, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-11, but he has weak power against lefties for, I guess that's just the way the stats played out. So it cannot hit a home run. That's a 1. It'll only be a single because he has weak power, or he's rated for weak power. So no home run for Braggs. He will get the single, though. He had 13 home runs on the season, but they're not going to give it to him here. He just gets the single and likes it, I guess. To get the lead, he needs a 5 or a 6. Gets an 8, so he cannot get the lead. They'll bring up Rob Deer. We'll talk about home runs. He's got normal power against lefties and righties, so he's not worried about not having power. Yeah, I'm waiting. If Harold Baines or Scott Rowland pass away unexpectedly, I'm sure RJ will be the first one in line to start a tribute game. 310 for Deer, and that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-6, but that's a 20. Normally, when the ballpark thing fails, I go with the original result, but since that's a strikeout, I'm going to go ahead and go with a liner to short as per the rule. I don't want to give Deer doesn't need more strikeouts. He's got enough strikeouts on his record, so we'll keep with the original rule of ballpark failing being a line out to short. So there's 2 down, and here's Dale Swain. Swain grounded back to Young his first time up. Nothing on the Havoc. That's a 2-5, and that's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Brewers. Kurt Young has kept them in check through 3. Go to the 4th inning, it's 1-0 A's, and it's all because of Mike Gallego. He's the reason the A's have that lead. So we go to the top of the fourth, and it will be Mr. Canseco. Flew out to center his first chance. It's a 2-3, and that's, oh, he almost got a low max there. 2-3 is a ballpark single check, 1-6. That's an 8. So that will be another line out to short. One away, and that will send up Mr. McGuire. Struck out his first chance. 6-7, and that's going to strike out again. McGuire down on strikes again. Fourth strikeout for Mr. Higuera. 2 up, 2 down, and the Penguin, Ron Say, struck out his first time up. 1-10, and he will do it again. He liked it so much, he did it again. 3 up, 3 down go the A's. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still 1-0, favor of the Brew Crew. I'm favor of the A's, rather. Brew Crew looking to get on the board, get off the schneid. And Jim Paciorek will step up. He struck out his first time. That's a 6-11 against right-hander. Ground ball first base X. McGuire's a 3-12. If he gets it and feels it, he'll flip the young for the out. If he can get to it and not bungle it. 3-18, he'll get to it for sure. Now we're just checking for the error. Error, that's an 11, and he is an E12. There's a 12. There's no 11, so he will get to it and flip to Kurt Young for the first out of the inning. 3-1 in the program, in the scorebook. Bill Schroeder singled his first chance. 4-6, right-handed, struck him out. Fourth strikeout for Kurt Young. And that brings up the weak-hitting Charlie O'Brien. Did walk his first time up on that 3-5 roll. 2-7 this time is a pop-up to short. Griffin is there. Another easy inning. And that'll do it for the Brew Crew. Almost don't want to mention it, but I do. In the Sandberg game and now this game are back to what I like, the close pitching duels, not these blowouts I've had the last couple of games. Hope I just didn't curse that or jinx it, but I do prefer these kind of games. Give me a 3-2 game, something like that. I'm perfectly happy. All right, here's Terry Steinbach. 5-5, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else he singles, so that's a base hit for Terry Steinbach. He will not be held. And here comes Mr. Mike Davis. Flew out to right his first chance. Nothing on the habit. 6-6 left-handed. That's a single to right field. Steinbach was not being held. He's an 11. To go to third base, it would be a 13. Right fielder Braggs is a -2, makes it an 11. So I think they're going to go ahead and hold him at second base. All right. Stan Javier, the batter. He is an A bunter. So they could bunt here and set it up for Gallego. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and go for the bunt. First, we'll do a havoc roll. Nothing happening. So we're going for the bunt. And let me get my bunt chart out. It's on the back of the Super Advanced Pitcher Fielding section. I need to flip that over. Go to our bunt chart. He's an A bunter, with the corners are sneaking in, so they're now a B bunter. And the white die will tell us who fields it. It's a 5, and that's fielded by the first baseman, Paciorek. Now, will it be a good bunt? Anything 9 or less is a good bunt. That's a 12. That's a 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. He has fouled this off. So we're going to try it again. That's a 1. This time it's going to be bunted to the pitcher, Higuera. Question is, will he get it down? On another 11, if he rolls an 11 or 12, he strikes out. He needs a 9 or less. Gets a 7 this time, which is perfectly good. Sacrifice. It's going to go 1-4 as Higuera will throw to Castillo covering, but both runners will move up into scoring position. So Javier gets down the bunt after a second chance, fouling it off the first time, but making good the second time. And now here's Mike Gallego. First base is open, but we're certainly not going to walk Gallego. I mean, he hit the home run, but he hadn't done much else, so we're not going to be fearful of Gallego at all. Hello, Alex. Good to see you. So the infield, though, will come in for Milwaukee. They're down 1-0. They don't want to give up a cheap run on a ground ball B or something. So the infield is in against Gallego. That's a 6-7, and that's a strikeout, a big strikeout for Teddy Higuera. Strikeout number 6, and that was a huge one. Now the infield can go back to normal, and it will take a hit from Tony Phillips or an error or something like that to get the run home. Tony Phillips doubled and fouled to the catcher. That's a 5-10. Switch hitter being right-handed. 5-10. It's a catcher X. Catcher X. O'Brien's a 2-E3. 2 and a 5. That's iffy. 2 and a 5. We got to go flip the form over and go back to the catcher defensive. 2 and a 5 is a P/P, so it's possible that this could be something erroneous here, like a wild pitch or pass ball or something like that. 5-5 is a PP. That's an 11, and he is an E3. So there is no 11. So we go to PP. Over here to PP. PP, it says, all right, so we're going to basically use the wild pitch number of Higuera to determine if a pass ball has occurred. Higuera's wild pitch rating, look over here, is a 3. So if you roll a 3 or less on the D20, a wild pitch will occur. I'm sorry, a pass ball would occur. And if we get higher than that, it's just going to be a pop out to the catcher, and that's going to be the end of the inning. That's a 14, so no pass ball. It'll simply be a pop out to end the inning. Nothing doing for the A's. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 1-0 favor of Oakland. And speaking of the A's, I'm not sure how Strat or any other company is going to make their cards next year. Because normally what the companies do is they put the city name on there because they don't want to pay the rights for the actual nicknames. But the Athletics are just the Athletics. They're not Oakland. They're not Sacramento. They're not Las Vegas. They're just kind of drifters. So I don't know if they're just going to say, because if they put Athletics, then that's, having to break what they have done before with the nickname. So I'm not sure how they're going to handle it. Maybe they'll just call them Sacramento or something. I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do. All right, here is Jimmy Gantner. 6'5", left-handed, lines it out to short. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. And Alfredo Griffin will haul it in. 1 down for Juan Castillo. He's 0 for 2. 1-8, and that's a ground ball to Griffin at short. 2 down. So Kurt Young holding his own here against the much more ballyhooed Teddy Higuera. Here's Robin Yount. 3-5, and that's a fly to left. Canseco hauls it in. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Kurt Young. At the end of 5, it's still 1-0 favor the A's. Kurt Young is retired 8 in a row. Start the top of the 6th. And it will be Griffin, Canseco, and McGuire due up for the Oakland A's. Hello, Robert. 1-0 A's, top of the 6th on the home run by Mike Gallego, his first of the season, counting for the only run of the game. 2-5, and that's a pop out to third. Jimmy Gantner will make that play. 1 down, and that's going to send up Mr. Canseco, Mr. Juiced. What say you, Robert, when Inside Pitch comes out with their 2025 season and they print cards for this athletics team? Are they going to call them Sacramento? Because they can't call them Athletics because that's a nickname. Can't call them Oakland because they're not in Oakland anymore. So I'm assuming they're going to call them, and they can't call them Vegas. They're not in Vegas anymore. So I'm assuming they're going to call them, they're going to list the city name as Sacramento. I'm guessing. I don't know. That seems to be the workaround. All right, here's Canseco. 3-4, left-handed, and ground ball. 3-5 would have been a home run, but 3-4 is a ground ball to short. Missed it by that much, as Maxwell Smart would have said. 2 down. And here's Mark McGwire. Struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. 6-4. Ground ball third base. Jimmy Gantner is a 3-E-12. 3 and a 7. Might be okay. 3 and a 7 is a G3. It's good enough. Third base, he is an E12, and this is a 12. So a 12 and a 12, and it's right here. A one base error on Jimmy Gantner. A 12 and a 12 is a one base error on Jimmy Gantner. Keeps the inning going, E5. That's the first error by either team. So one base error. We'll put McGwire at first. He's not going to be held, obviously. For the Penguin, Ron Say. That could do that too. And I guess there's all sorts of ways you can get around it. I guess that all the game creators are deciding how they're going to represent that. I might just put Sacramento and leave it at that, but that's, I guess they can do whatever they wish. 4-7, right-handed, is a ground ball second base X. They were not holding McGwire on, so Castillo keeps his 3-E-21. Hello, Casmo. How are you doing? 3-E-21, that's a 13. He'll get to that easily. 3 and the 13 is a G2. So that would be a fielder's choice, second to a shortstop, if he makes the play. But that's a 5. That's going to be a rare play. So we need to know about the G2. It's going to be a G2 rare play. He was a 3-E-21, a 3 and a 13 is a G2, but the 5 is a rare play. So it's probably one of those Strat-O-Matic not so rare plays, but we'll see. G2, rare play. Batter lines a shot that deflects off the pitcher to the fielder and makes the play for the out. Yeah, again, not a rare play. It's just dumb. So I'm just going to call it a 4-3 ground out and be done with it. How about that? Waste of time for Strat-O-Matic to put out something like that. It's really, they ought to be embarrassed, actually. They ought to be embarrassed. Their rare plays are atrocious. I will say that. I can't believe after 40-something years or however long they've had this rare play system in place that they haven't made any kind of adjustments or addendums or upgrades or something to make it a little bit more interesting. Oh, so Mike Gallego did hit a home run in real world, huh? Okay, cool. All right, here is Glenn Braggs to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0. 6-6, right-handed. That is a line out to third. And Mr. Gallego right there, 1 down. Here's Rob Deere. Of course, he's capable of tying the game with one swing of the bat. 6-6, same result. Line out the third. So back-to-back hard liners, but right to Mr. Gallego. 2 down for Dale Swain. Swain, 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. 2-10, and that's another ground out to, guess who? Mr. Gallego. Makes all the plays in the 6th inning. And now that is 11 in a row retired by Kurt Young. Tell you, without Paul Molitor, the Brewer offense has kind of gone dormant since he went out with injury. And I meant to show this when the game first started, but I forgot. But this was the previous game in the Oakland series. Birkbeck threw 6 shutout innings and bested Dave Stewart, and the Brewers won it 4-0. Leaper went 2 innings, so kind of want to keep from using him in relief. Mirabella went an inning and 2/3, so he'll be at the back of their bullpen. Clear went an inning, no problem. Plesac 2/3, no problem. So you got Basio, you've got Chuck Krim, Clear, Plesac. They're all available, no problem. But Milwaukee did win the first game of the series 4-0. All right, so now we're starting the top of the 7th, and this is the fatigue inning for both pitchers. Keep an eye on that. Here is Steinbach. 3-6 against the left-hander. That's a base on balls. That's the first ding towards fatigue for Higuera. And for Higuera, that's the very first walk. He went 6 innings without a walk, and that's his first walk of the game. Brings up Mike Davis. Davis, 1 for 2. Steinbach, of course, not being held. 5-4, left-handed. That is an in-home run chance, 1-11. He has normal power, and that is gone. Mike Davis, a 2-run home run off of Higuera. Look at it again, 5-4 against a lefty. 1-11 is a home run. He's got normal power, and that's a 4. So a 2-run home run for Mike Davis, and the A's have opened up the lead to 3-0. For Mike Davis, that is home run number 8 on the season, and RBIs 21 and 22, and the A's take a 3-0 lead. Yeah, Mike Davis hit a home run in the 7th in the real world, so you're telling me. So that's pretty cool. Of course, Gallego hit his in the 3rd. So, all right, here's Javier. Bullpen activity. Chuck Creme de la Creme is loosening in the Brewer bullpen. He would be coming in for Higuera if Higuera can't make it out of the 7th inning. So Chuck Krim doing the relief pitching in the bullpen, loosening up. Here's Javier. 3-12 against the lefty. That's a single. So base hit, and I believe Higuera is now tired. That is just, and he certainly is. That's when you get to your fatigue inning, you give up 3 hits in a row, you become tired. Mike Gallego is your batter. They're going to let Higuera pitch to Gallego at least, and we'll see what happens from there. Krim still loosening. Gallego, nobody out. He could bunt here, but he's thinking himself a power man, so he's going to be swinging away. 110, and that's a ground ball third base A. It's a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And LaRussa is telling him now you should have bunted. Don't think about the home run ball. You got overexcited with the home run ball. And now you hit into a twin killing. So 2 outs, and they're going to see if Higuera can finish the inning. 2 outs, base is empty for Tony Phillips. That's a 6-11, switch hitter batting right-handed. Ground ball first base X Pashoric, 4E25. Those 4 fielders make you nervous, especially with the double dive. But that came up with 17, so that's okay. 4-17 is a G1, and that's a 16. That could be problematic. He's an E25 and a 16, but amazingly, 9, 11, 12, 14, 3, 17, and 18 are errors, but not 16. So Pashoric makes the play, flips to Higuera covering to end the inning, but the Mike Davis 2-run home run gives the Oakland A's a 3-0 lead. And that's going to be it for Higuera. They're going to cap him at 7 innings. And we will see Chuck Krim in the 8th. So Higuera is going to go 7 innings. And I'll get the complete numbers on Higuera as we go to Strat Computer. So I don't have to do the math. It'll do it for me. Teddy Higuera. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. And Chuck Krim with a -2 hold, so that makes that a -4. He will be coming into the game in the 8th inning. Right now, Kurt Young is enjoying a 3-0 lead against the Brew Crew here in Milwaukee, kind of silencing the County Stadium crowd, as he has really pitched a heck of a ball game. But we're at the 7th inning stretch, and that means it's time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Don't know if I need to stretch because the game's moving along pretty good, but we'll do something with it anyway. So, sing your Take Me Out to the Ball Games. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. And we are in the 7th inning, so that means pinch hitting is available for both teams. Brew Crew, you're looking at Charlie O'Brien. That's almost a guaranteed pinch hit. Now, everybody on the bench for the Brewers is left-handed. Greg Brock, B.J. Surhoff, Rick Manning, Billy Joe Robideau, and Cecil Cooper. They're all left-handed. So we'll have to see who they decide to go with, because O'Brien is 0 for 1. But you would think they would pinch hit for him just because. But we'll see. Pachoric will lead things off. He is 0 for 2. 1-9, and he's going to draw a base on balls. So leadoff walk. And that's pretty much how the top of the 7th started, was a leadoff walk. And you saw what happened. The 2-run homer followed. Don't know if that's going to happen here. Bill Schroeder is certainly capable of hitting the long ball. No question about it. But we shall see. Pachoric not going to be held. Kurt Young. 4-4 against the right-hander. Catcher X. Terry Steinbach's a 3-E-7. That's a 3 and a 3. That's trouble, most likely. 3 and a 3 is a W/G, which is a possible wild pitch. And that's a 13, and he is an E7. There's no 13 there, but we go to W/G. So the runners on base, the pitcher uncorks a wild pitch. So a wild pitch uncorked by Young will move Pachoric up to second base. Takes the double play out of the equation. And Schroeder will stand there to bat again. And loosening in the Oakland bullpen, somebody well known, pretty much around baseball, Dennis Eckersley, loosening in their bullpen. He and Jay Howe kind of like 50-50 on the saves, so probably going to be Eckersley's turn to give it a shot. Kurt Young now to Schroeder with the runner on second after the wild pitch. 1-11, and that's a hit by pitch. How about that? First we have a wild pitch, and now we have a hit by pitch. How about that? So now there will definitely be a pinch hitter for Charlie O'Brien. We just got to figure out who it's going to be. It's going to be a lefty, though. That's the only thing. That's all they have on the bench are left-handers. So they're going to go with Cecil Cooper because he had, I'm going to use RJL rule, sort of. He had the most at-bats against lefties percentage-wise of all the guys on the bench. Out of their normal at-bats, he had 32% against left-handers. So apparently Troublehorn believed at least he could hit left-handed pitching. So Cooper will pinch hit here in the 7th. And then Surhoff will come in and catch in the 8th inning. So Cooper, lefty on lefty matchup against the lefty Young. We'll get the numbers on Cooper on the replay. Coop, as they call him. On the replay, he is hitting .236, 5 homers, 12 driven in, and 72 at-bats. Real world, he hit .248, so .236 to .248 is not too bad. So here is Cooper. It's a 1-9, and that's a fly ball to right field. If that had been 2 outs, that would have been a base hit, but it's simply a fly to right, 1 away. Cooper does not get the hit they were looking for. And Pashork does not run well enough to try to run on Mike Davis and his -2 arms, so they will down 3-0. They're not going to risk it. They will hold him there. And here's Jimmy Gantner, another lefty on lefty matchup. Eckersley is ready in the pen if needed. The pitch to Gantner, 6-11, lefty on lefty. Ground ball pitcher X. Young is a 3-E7. So we'll see what happens with the 3-E7. 3 and an 8. That is an 8. 3 and an 8 for a pitcher. 3 and an 8 is a G3, so his only play will be to first base. That's a 13, and he's an E7. E7, there's a 12, but no 13, so he caught a break there. It's just going to be a 1-3 ground out. Both runners will move up to second and third, but now there are 2 outs. And it is now a clutch situation, as they say, for Castillo, the second baseman, who is 0 for 3 on the game from the leadoff spot. So Young, they're going to stick with Young. He's on the verge of fatigue, but is not tired as of yet. Facing Castillo, 5-8. Castillo switch hitter. 5-8 is a ballpark blast, but that's a 12. He had weak power anyway. It would have been a single, but not when that's a 5 and that's a 12. That's simply a fly to left, and that's going to do it for the Brew Crew. Flies to left to end the inning. And I think that's going to do it for Kurt Young as well. When you got these 3 big right-handers coming up in the 8th, they will go to Eckersley in the bottom of the 8th. So Kurt Young is going to go 7 shutout innings. Very impressive. Let's see. He only walked. Let's see. He walked 1, 2, 3. He struck out 4. And gave up 1, 2, 3. Looks like just 3 hits from best I can tell. He did hit a batter. I'll go to the Strat computer just to confirm it and make sure I didn't make a mathematical error. BJ Surhoff is now in the game to catch as Cooper pinch hit for Mr. Charlie O'Brien. Chuck Krim has entered the ball game, and we'll get his numbers in a second. Right now, I want to get the full numbers on Kurt Young. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts, so that is accurate. All right, we will start the top of the 8th with Chuck Krim de la Creme as the new pitcher. On the replay, Krim is 0-0 with 3 saves and a 3.26 earned run average. And I think with I'm starting to lose my peripherals on this score sheet, so I will move everything over to this side. And leading things off will be Alfredo Griffin. It'll be Griffin, Canseco, and McGuire due up for the Oakland A's here in the top of the 8th of a 3-0 lead. Griffin will now turn around and bat left-handed against Mr. Krim. So Krim 0-0, 3 saves, 3.26 earned run average, 19 innings pitched, 20 hits, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. He had a 3.67 real world. Right now he's 3.26 on the replay. 4-11, switch hitter batting left-handed rather. 4-11, fly ball left field X. That is going to be the left fielder Rob Deere, and Deere is a 3E10. 3 and a 7. He should get to that. It'll be close, but I think he'll get to it. 3 and a 7. He does. F1. The very last 3 and a 6 would have been a single, but F1 is good enough. He's an E10 for a left fielder. He's got to avoid these numbers: 4, 3, 4, and then 14 through 18. That is a 12. He just barely did that as well. 14 through 18 would have been an error, but a 12 is not. So Deere wasn't pretty, but he makes the play for out number 1. That's all that counts. And here is Mr. Canseco. That is a 6-7 right-handed. That's a base hit to left field for Jose Canseco. We'll see if he can get the lead. He has not had a stolen base this season on the replay because he has such a hard time getting the lead. But that Krim -4 is going to make it rough too. But he's going to try for the lead anyway. They're playing with house money up 3-0, they figure. Needs a 6, can't get it. So he still can't get that lead. And here is Mark McGuire. Krim to McGuire. 4-10, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout for Krim as he gets McGuire. Is that the hat trick for McGuire? It certainly is. McGuire has struck out 3 times. He's got the hat trick. Ron Say is the scheduled hitter for the DH, but they will not have him bat. With the right-hander pitching for Milwaukee, they will go to a left-hander for DH, and it'll be this guy, Mr. Reggie Hot Dog Jackson. He will take over as the DH for Ron Say. One geriatric to another. Mr. Reggie. And on the replay, let's bring Reggie into the game. Reggie on the replay. Let's see how he's doing. On the replay, Reggie is hitting a .194, 7 home runs and 17 runs batted in. So 7 home runs and 103 at bats. So he's above his pace on home runs, below his pace on batting average. He had 220 real world, hitting 194 now. So Krim to Reggie with 2 outs and Canseco at first base. That's a 5-4 left-handed. Struck him out. So Reggie goes down on strikes to end the 8th inning, top of the 8th inning anyway. And Krim does his job, keeping the score close. Go to the bottom of the 8th, still 3-0 Oakland. They're trying to turn the tables on Milwaukee, who won game 1 of this series 4-0. But trying to pitch shutout for shutout. Here's Dennis Eckersley. Let's get his numbers on the replay. Again, he is splitting time as the closer right now with Jay Howell. He's actually had a spot start as well. But on the replay, he's 3-2 with 6 saves, 2.95 earned run average, 21 innings pitched, 16 hits, 5 walks, 18 strikeouts, 3.03 ERA real world, but 2.96 in the replay. And the first batter he's going to face is Robin Yount. 3-8 for Yount. He's going to ground it to short. Alfredo Griffin is there, 1 away. Sen, no, it does not. People have homebrewed it. I've heard some people homebrew it, that if it's on the pitcher card, it's looking. If it's on the batter card, it's swinging. People have had their own home brews on that. I've never really thought about it because it really does. As long as it's a strikeout in the book, I really don't care what kind it is. But there's no set thing by Strat, but certainly people have home brewed it. Here's Glenn Braggs. 410, and that is a fly ball center field X. We are looking at the center fielder, Stan Javier. He's a 2E7. 2 and an 18, he'll get to that. E7 and a 13 for an error. E7 and a 13 for a center fielder. There's a 15 and a 17, but no 13. So Javier will make the play, and Glenn Braggs is retired. 2 down. 2 away for Rob Deere. 6-6, and that's a strikeout for Eckersley to end the inning. So we go to the ninth. It's still 3-0 in favor of the Oakland A's. As they try to get some insurance, it will be Steinbach, Davis, and Javier due up in the ninth for Oakland. For the Brewers, it'll be Swain, probably a pinch hitter for Paciorek, and then Schroeder. Probably have Greg Brock hit for Paciorek. Shall see. So top of the ninth, Steinbach. 4-6. That's a pop out to third. Jimmy Gantner will take care of it. 1 away for Mike Davis. That's a big 2-run homer in the 7th inning. That was off Higuera. 3-8 against the right-handers. Another ground ball to short. This one Swain takes care of. 2 down. And that'll bring up Javier, center fielder. Switch hitter batting left, 5-3. Fly ball right field X. We're looking at Braggs. Braggs is a 3E13. 3 and a 7. He will get to that because a 3 and a 6 would have been the single, but a 3 and a 7 is an F1, so we'll get to that. A 14, and he is an E13. E13, there's no 14. There's a 12 and a 15, but no 13. So Glenn Braggs makes the play to end the inning. So for Chuck Grimm, he goes 2 innings. He did his job. He kept the teams close. Kept the A's at bay and kept them close. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. So a fine outing for Chuck Grimm in relief. But Eckersley is on to close the deal. Don't know if the A's are going to make any defensive changes. They really don't have a whole lot to change. They could take Phillips out. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to move Gallego to second base. And Phillips will come out, and Carney Lansford will come in the game to play third base. So Carney Lansford is going to play third base in this one in the 9th inning, just for defensive purposes. So Lansford, third base in the 9th. Carney Lansford. Carney Lansford will be the third baseman in place of Phillips. And if it goes extra innings, he will be the second place hitter behind Gallego. So Phillips is out of the game, and Carney Lansford goes in to play third, with Gallego moving from third to second. So those moves have been made on the Strat computer. Everything else is status quo. Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Dale Swain, a pinch hitter for Paciorek, and then Bill Schroeder. See what happens. Swain, the batter. 6-4, switch hitter batting left. That's a catcher X. That is Steinbach. He's a 3E7. 3 and a 10 for a catcher should not be a problem, I would think. 3 and a 10 is a P/F, but nobody's on base, so there can't be a pass ball or a wild pitch or any of that stuff. That's a 9, and he is an E7. So no 9 there. So P/F, we go to P/F, and it says with runners on base, a pitcher gets blah, 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 blah. pass ball does not occur, the batter hits a foul out. So since nobody's on base, the pass ball can't occur. It's going to be a foul out, and Swain is out of there. And now we're getting a pinch hitter from the Brew Crew. They will go to the bench. And Greg Crocodile Brock will pinch hit for Paciorek. And he would stay in the game to play first base if it got to extra innings. So we will go to the Strat computer and get him in the game and get his replay stats as well. No action in the A's bullpen. They fully trust Eckersley to close this thing out. Brock on the replay is hitting .313, 3 homers, 19 driven in, and 112 at bats. So Eckersley to Brock. Greg Brock is your batter against Eckersley. 4-4, left-hander. That's an in-home run chance, 1 to an 11. That's a 9. So Greg Brock is going to hit a pinch hit home run here in the bottom of the ninth to break up the shutout. Look at it again, 4-4 against Eckersley on a left-hander is a 1 to 11 home run. That's a 9. He does have normal power. So Greg Brock, a pinch hit home run, gets the Brewers off the schneid. His 4th homer of the season, 20th run batted in. And the score is now 3-1. Now, what do you do with Schroeder? Got to let Schroeder hit. He hit .332 real world with power, so you're not going to pinch hit for Schroeder. 3-1 game gave the Brew Crew, hello Frank, gave the Brew Crew a little something to cheer for. Here's Schroeder. 110, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-6, but that's a 19, so he's going to ground it to short for out number 2. Brewers down to the final out, and Jim Gantner is the scheduled hitter, and 272 hitter, so he's going to stay in the game. Since they pulled Paciorek, let's see here, no. I don't think they have anybody else to play second or third because they've got everybody in the field. Well, they could put Surhoff at third, I guess. You know what? They're going to pinch hit with B.J. Surhoff. He's a better hitter, and he can play third base if need be. So B.J. Surhoff will pick up a bat, and he will hit. As Treblehorn pulling out everything he can think of. So Surhoff actually, Surhoff was already in the game because it's O'Brien's turn. My bad. Surhoff was a scheduled batter anyway because he had come in to replace O'Brien. So there's actually Surhoff's at bat to begin with. He's not pinch hitting. He's already in the game. A little bit of a mix-up there. Hello, Jeff. All right, so Surhoff will swing away his first at bat since coming in for defensive purposes. He's hitting .276 on the replay, a homer and 3 driven in. Hit .299 real world. 1-8, and that is a fly to right field to end the ball game. Brew Crew get a run in the ninth on the home run off the bat of Greg Brock, the pinch hitter. But that's all they get. A's win it by the score of 3-1. Eckersley, despite giving up the home run, will get the save with 2 innings of otherwise flawless relief. His only hit he gave up was the home run. And we'll get to the Strat computer and get all the pertinent totals for you. Set you up for tomorrow's game. Final game on May the 13th, which will be Toronto and Minnesota from the Homer Dome in Minneapolis, St. Paul, or wherever that was located. All right, so 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Oakland. 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 error for the Brew Crew. Winning pitcher is Kurt Young. He is now 4-2. Losing pitcher, tough luck loss. Teddy Higuera is now 3-3. Dennis Eckersley picks up save number 7 for Dennis Eckersley. The A's get their 20th win, improve to 20-13. Brewers drop to 21-10. And now with this loss, every team in the league has at least 10 losses. The Brewers were the last single-digit loss team there was, but not anymore. And that's going to do it. So May 13th, game 224 in the books, with Oakland winning by the score of 3-1. Player of the game, I have to give it to Kurt Young. 7 shutout innings. He shut down the Brewer attack. I know Mike Davis had a 2-run homer and all that stuff, but he pitched the 7 shutout innings, so I got to give him the kudos for that and the player of the game. Tomorrow, I don't know if it'll be in the morning or lunchtime or when it will be, but we will be at the Homer Dome, and it will be Toronto taking on Minnesota. Jim Clancy against Mark Portugal. That will be the final game on the May 13th docket, game number 225 on the replay. So hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic. Back to Super Advanced for change, since we had that unusual Sandberg game, which was in Advanced only. Okay. Thank you for everyone who stopped by. Even it's a little bit later than what I would normally like to play, but I try to be courteous to RJL. He didn't finish his game until late, so I didn't want to coincide with him. I'd rather give him the floor and whatnot. So, but hopefully around, if I do it in the morning, it will probably be around 8:30. If I do it at lunchtime, obviously be around noon. I'll see if Uncle Ron's streaming at noon or not. If he's not, I might just wait till lunch to do it. I don't know. It's whichever way the wind blows. So, yeah, check out the Rhino Tribute game. It's a Strat-O-Matic Advanced only, not Super Advanced, because the cards were not rated for Super Advanced. So, thank you, World's Worst. Good to see you. Again, Twins 15-17. Toronto 19-11. So Toronto, with the Milwaukee loss, they can gain ground on the Brewers with the win. They can get to 20-11. And as we saw, Brewers are now 21-10. They would be 1 game back. They'd be 1 game back and right there with the Yankees tied in second place. 1 game back of the Brewers if they can manage to knock off the Twins. But we'll see how that works out. We don't know. So thank you for spending part of your late Tuesday night with me. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of the evening. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.